up, buddy? I'm going to share 3 things I wish somebody told me when I first started coaching. Let's get into it. Number 1, set expectations at the start of every single session. I have 3 main expectations, and I'm going to share them with you right now. Be kind, be additive, be a learner. They're all positive, and they're all pretty much standards I hold for my players, my other coaches, and for the parents. I make sure the parents at least hear me say these things because I hold them to the same standard that I hold my players and my coaches and myself. I'm going to share them like I would share them with my players. Pretend I have a whiteboard and it says, be kind, be additive, be a learner. Number 1, be kind. Guys, I find it really easy to be kind to others and support others when they fail. I find it a lot harder to be kind to myself. So being kind doesn't just mean, hey, keep going, keep working hard for someone else. It also means you're saying those kind words to yourself. Be kind to others and be kind to yourself. Number 2 is be additive. I want you to add to the environment and add to other players' experiences. If you're being negative or taken away from other people's experiences, that's when there's going to be a problem. Please do your best to be additive. Add to conversations. Add to people's volleyball and sport. Number 3, be a learner. If you want to make the most of this training session, you need to fail. Because to fail is to learn. I'm not going to get angry at you for failing. I'm not going to get annoyed or be passive aggressive when you fail, because when you do, you're actually reaching the standard and going above and beyond of my expectations because you're being a learner. If you can't reach those expectations and standards, that's when we have a conversation. That is how I set my expectations. I explain them once at the start of the season, but then I always remind them at the start of every single session I do that those are my expectations, because you need to set your boundaries. If you don't set boundaries and if the players don't know where they are, they're free to do anything. Set those boundaries and make sure your players know what standards and expectations they should be abiding by. And when players don't reach that expectations, when they're not kind to themselves or other people, you can just ask them, hey, are you being kind? Usually they say, oh, not really. And they go back and start being a little more kind to themselves or start reaching that expectation. But it's a really great tool to use because it's just simple and it's just a question. It's not attacking anybody. You're not telling anybody off. You're getting the player to self-reflect. And if they keep going, if they keep being mean and keep being silly, that's when you have a conversation with them. You say, hey, come here. What's going on? Come on, tell me what's going on. What happened over here? Is that kind? Is that additive? That's how I talk to my players. We connect with them first. We don't just yell at them straight away. And then if all hell breaks loose and things are still going crazy and they're just being an absolute butt, you can talk to them again and say, hey, playing this sport is a privilege. If you can't reach the standard of my expectations, I need you to sit out. It's that simple. You don't need to yell. No yelling needed. Set your expectations, tell them your boundaries, and stick to them. Number 2 is understanding behaviors instead of managing behaviors. I was a primary school teacher for a long time, and when I went to university, there was so much focus on behavior management. It really rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't really enjoy it when people said, behavior management. You need to manage people's behaviors. It's only till recently where I started using the words understanding behavior. Because what I think is behavior is a language. And that language is used by kids, by players to tell you something. You know, people's behaviors are telling you something. They're not just there to piss you off. They're trying to tell you something that they can't verbalize themselves. I'm going to share 3 main examples of 3 behaviors you may see that you might think are disruptive, but I'm going to try and frame them in a different way so you can start understanding behaviors. So you don't need to manage it, you can understand it. All right, here I go. So if you have someone disruptive, so they're making fun of someone, they're pushing, they're wrestling, I don't know, they're doing silly stuff. I don't think they're being rude or mean on purpose. I think what that behavior is telling us is they're bored. They're probably standing around, they're probably doing nothing, and they're trying to entertain themselves. It's not disruptive, it's not rude, they're bored. In my experiences, when I get them moving and keep them moving, there's no more rude, angry behavior. People are playing sport. The second one is unwilling. If someone's unwilling to try, or you think someone should be trying harder than they are. Sometimes we think people are being defiant or need to be motivated, like hurry up, go, 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 yell, 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 and we yell at them. I don't think that's the case. I actually think unwilling behavior usually tells us that they're nervous or they're scared to fail. I've been in their shoes millions of times. Especially think of in class when a teacher says, put your hand up if you can tell me this. I'm not putting my hand up. I'm unwilling. I'm scared to fail. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to do this. I'm unwilling to participate because I'm scared to fail and look stupid. So that's a behavior that's telling us that they don't really feel that safe in this environment to fail. And that's information you can work with to create a safe environment. The third one I was thinking about is chatty. When we think of chatty people, they're disruptive. You know, it's really annoying because they keep chatting and you're like, oh, shut up, shut up, shut up. But I think chattiness is a really good thing, especially in learning environments, because chattiness means people are comfortable. You know, when people feel uncomfortable, they don't chat, they don't talk. It feels like they're in prison and they're not allowed to talk, and it feels eerie. But when people are chatting, that means they feel safe, you know, they feel comfortable, and I see that as a win. And sometimes you do need to remind them, hey, let's stop talking, I need you to focus right now. That's fine. You don't need to yell at them for being chatty, because what it shows you is they feel safe in the environment that you've created. They might need a few reminders to shut the hell up sometimes, but you don't need to yell at them, because then you would be ruining that environment that you've worked so hard to create. So chattiness is people feeling comfortable. Those are 3 examples. There's so many more, especially with kids, but when you work with kids, you realize adults are literally just big kids that show their emotions less. Try and understand behavior, because it's a language and they're trying to tell you something. They're not trying to piss you off, they're trying to tell you something. Understand behavior, don't manage it. The third thing I wish I got told was how mirroring and mimicking works. And there's a little bit of research behind it, but I'm just going to share my own experiences. And what I mean by that is when you walk into a new team and you're coaching someone, that team is going to mirror your energy. If you come in cold and standoffish, the players are going to be cold and standoffish. Not because they're inherently cold and standoffish, but because they're mirroring the energy that you're modeling. As the coach, you're leading them unintentionally and intentionally at times. So remember, your players are going to be mirroring your energy. If you want a fun, uplifting, loving environment, you need to show the players what that looks like. And if you want a silent and cold and deadpan environment, you need to show the players what that looks like. So go into these new teams expecting them to run off your energy. Now, I'm a coach that fully believes that the less I do, the more players grow. So I'm completely successful as a coach when I'm not needed. That's my opinion and my philosophy. But I also understand if I come into a new team and I'm just silent and saying, oh, you should know how to do this, it's not going to work out. You need to meet the team where they're at and then ease off. So model what you want your training sessions to look like. If you want them to be fun, you need to look like you're having fun. When you're having fun, everyone's having fun because they're mirroring you. Guys, those are the 3 things I wish I got told when I first started coaching. I hope they help you. I hope you can use them for years to come because I'm still using them. I still think they are wonderful to use. Good Johnny! Thanks to my patrons. Thanks for supporting me and thanks for believing in me. If you want to learn more about coaching, click on any of these videos. If you want to learn more about volleyball, go check out my guides to volleyball. Get better with your practice. So go practice coaching. Go Johnny!